Welcome to A to Z Sports Prime Time on this Thursday night. Thanks for hanging out here with us. We appreciate you joining for the last episode of the Prime Time Week. Going to be a good one. We're going to discuss the latest, the debate, if one such debate exists, about JC Latham. Can he play left tackle the way that the Titans are just going to slot him in to play left tackle in 2024? We are going to play you some comments from Matt Miller, one of the foremost draft analysts at ESPN, who is not the only person giving his analysis of JC Latham this way. In fact, there's been several people who have doubted the seamless transition that the Titans are going to try and make this for JC Latham moving from right to left. So we'll get into the pros and cons of that. We'll give you the latest on Tyler Boyd, and we'll wrap things up with a weekend bounce back because that's what we do. Before we get started, though, I need you guys to share the broadcast around on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch, wherever you are spending your time with us. We appreciate it, first and foremost. But secondarily, we got to ask you for something, which is to share this show. If you are hanging out on Twitter, please retweet it in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. If you're on Facebook Live, you can share now to public in the bottom left, like Jeff Rubel, who says, because he's a right tackle. You do not play right tackle at Bama, and a true freshman does, and just think that you can slide over to left tackle in the NFL. Well, certainly we're going to talk about that because you're not the only one who holds that position, but there's plenty of other smart people in football who are shrugging their shoulders at this and being like, yeah, it ain't that deep. So that's where the debate arrives. We will talk about those things together. If you're on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We do appreciate when you participate that way. Let's go ahead and get it started. Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time from the Zen Sports Studios. I'm your host, Buck Rising. If you're new to the show, I'm proud as always to be presented to you by the wonderful people at Zen Sports. Download the app, plug in the promo code ATOZTN, and get in on all the action that they are there to provide for you. Zensports.com. For more information, TrueMathFitness.com. Your first workout is free as a Middle Tennessee resident. I'm going to go to TrueMath tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. for my personal training. You can go any day of the week for one of their great group fitness classes at TrueMathFitness.com. Your first workout is free. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer, over 40 years of doing business, quality American-made Ford vehicles, and award-winning customer service. Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet or online at tworiversford.com. JC Latham, how is he going to slot in at the left tackle spot? Titans not making a big deal out of this at all. They are very confident that they're going to get starting caliber left tackle play out of this dude right away. They are not concerned about the idea that he didn't play the position at any point in college. And, you know, the idea that you can just definitively say that he didn't play the position at all in college. He practiced in college as a left tackle, but he played exclusively as a right tackle. That's not inconsequential because there's muscle memory. There's just general technical things that you're going to develop. You're going to put yourself in a position to be able to adjust how you work your feet, how you work your hands. Everything, right? We've talked to offensive linemen about switching sides before. We've talked to tackles about switching sides before, and they talk about the idea of, you use one hand to wipe your entire life, and then all of a sudden you're being asked to use a different hand. And so I'm sure there's other metaphors that can be used that are less, graphic than that. But still, this is not just as simple as, all right, big fella, go play left tackle. But that's about what they're going to do with this. So now when I look at the Titans and I look at JC Latham, I was doing an interview with Blaine and Mickey earlier today on 104.5 The Zone. And Mickey asked me, well, was there one pick where everybody in the room looked around and said, yeah, that's a good pick. That's a good value, because every time I've asked, talking about Mickey said, every time I ask you about Sweat, you give me, well, DWI, this, that, and the other. He's got weight concerns, which, by the way, justifiably so. When they asked me about Latham, I said, I just like to not have any question whatsoever that the player that they drafted to play left tackle can play left tackle. I'm pretty confident in it. He's a really good athlete. He's an elite kind of talent, so it shouldn't be that deep. It probably won't be that deep because Bill Callahan is here to make it not that deep, but still that there is even a question mark about it makes you kind of shrug your shoulders and say, all right, it's not the biggest thing. It's not the biggest issue in the world, but it's just enough to nitpick it a little bit and say, yeah, but I would just like to definitively know coming out of the NFL draft that I have my left tackle of the future. And you can't say that right now. You know who's going to start for you week one or who's going to start for you in week one of training camp. But at this point, that's just kind of where we're at. So I had a hard time saying that there was one pick that I loved, like just without question, that the Titans made out of their 7-man draft class. Not to say that I'm down on any of the players outright, but that there's things that you can look at and say, yeah, I have questions about this. I have questions about every pick that they made last Thursday, a week ago today, as a matter of fact. So for Matt Miller, who you'll hear from here in just a second, he has equal concerns, and he did a really good job this morning with Ramon, Kayla, and Will articulating just that kind of concern. And in fact, Ramon Foster, who played offensive line for 11 years in the NFL, has also talked about Latham and where he kind of sees him at the next level, which Ramon has said, he could imagine a scenario in which JC Latham is playing as a guard even, not even as a tackle. But this was Matt Miller earlier this morning on 104.5 The Zone.
So, Matt, when you look from maybe the JC Latham perspective and from his camp, if you were JC Latham's camp saying, what's the best place you could land? Could you make the argument that that's with the Titans just because of who their offensive line coach is and Bill Callahan? Is this the best opportunity for a team to maybe get the most out of him?
Yeah, I do think so. And I even said that draft weekend. I am not smarter than Bill Callahan. I do not want anyone to think that I think I'm smarter than Bill Callahan. However, I've been doing this a while as well. I've evaluated a heck of a lot of prospects. I do know what I'm doing. So I think it is a good landing spot. My confusion comes from the fact of drafting someone who's never played left tackle a day in his life, who also played last year at 360 pounds, and movement was his struggle, in saying, you're going to be a left tackle for us. He's built like a guard. I mean, he truly is. I mean, everything about him. He was the strongest offensive lineman in the class. When he gets his hands on you, he's shutting you down. Absolutely. But, 18 penalties in college. That's a problem for me. 27-game starter at right tackle. Never took a snap anywhere but there. And I think there were times there were lapses in effort. You can look at the last play of his career as kind of a point to that. Of you get run over by a dude that weighs 237 pounds. You weigh 360. Why is that happening? He allows way too much inside pressure. Now, can Bill Callahan look at him and say, hey, this is my Orlando Brown Jr.? Maybe that's the mindset here. I would argue that if you're drafting in the top 10, you should probably aim higher than Orlando Brown Jr. as your left tackle. If that's the gold standard, our standard is wrong. We need to reevaluate what we're looking for at offensive tackle. So we'll see, man. I have a ton of respect for Rand Carthon. I have a ton of respect for both the Callahans. I always say this. I hope I'm wrong about these things. When you say you don't like a pick, you hope you're wrong, because that means that the player and the team have, achieved a level that you didn't expect they could. So Titans fans, I hope I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. I didn't think that this value was really good.
So that's Matt Miller. He's not ripping the pick by any stretch of the imagination, but he's just providing some context. And speaking of context, Bert, who works on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, gave me some clarification on Ramon Foster's commentary on JC Latham that I'll get to here in just a second. Right after I remind you that the Primetime program is presented by TrueMav Fitness in the Gulch. Go to TrueMavFitness.com. Your first workout is free as a Middle Tennessee resident. They are here to help you at TrueMav accomplish your fitness goals. Sometimes you just need a little help, right? Whether it's the motivation to go to the gym, whether it's the confidence that you need to execute a group fitness workout class that maybe is outside of your comfort zone for the first time. It's okay to push yourself in those positions, because TrueMav Fitness is there to make sure that you're in the best position to succeed. They are going to help you without overexerting you, without putting you in a bad spot, without making you feel overwhelmed, because sometimes it can be overwhelming. If you're just getting back in the gym for the first time, it can be a totally overwhelming feeling. And if you don't want to deal with that, TrueMav Fitness has the best support system in place. Your first workout is free at TrueMavFitness.com. So make sure you take advantage of that, because it's a great offer at a great spot. So the cause for concern about JC Latham. What's your biggest question on JC Latham in the NFL? You've heard a lot of people talking about right tackle versus left. Brad Hoheimer says, for a guy who knows what he's doing, he obviously doesn't know much. He played left tackle in high school. Well, okay, Brad, like he does know plenty. He's a very educated individual. He's a very respected person as far as the scouting goes. And playing left tackle in high school at IMG Academy is, where the best college prospects play. But also, it's not even remotely the NFL. Like Richie's going to a different extreme and just doing the head and hands emoji. And I'm not gonna bury you for it, Brad. But it's not even remotely the same. Like it's not even remotely the same. It's not even remotely the same from going at left tackle in college to going playing right tackle at Alabama. I would have had just as many questions about him playing left tackle at Alabama, even after playing left tackle at IMG Academy. You know what I'm saying? So you just can't be dismissive of people's analysis this way because you don't 100% know that this person is going to be able to handle the situation. I think that with the Titans in particular and with JC Latham, I'm really not overwhelmingly concerned. I'm not losing my mind about it. I'm not pulling my hair out about it, but I do have that thought in the back of my mind. Okay, well, what happens if he doesn't? Just because that's a question that we asked them. And they gave us an answer to the effect of, well, yeah, if he doesn't, we'll just figure it out afterwards, which made me want to pull my hair out. This was Brian Callahan speaking about it on Thursday night after they drafted him.
He sees himself as a left tackle. I mean, they all do. But he felt like that's the way that it happened at Alabama. They were trying to get their best five, and he was comfortable moving and playing on the right side. He was a left tackle in high school. So that part of it, he almost expected it, which is the attitude you want guys to have. I think he possesses the requisite traits to do it, and there's not going to be too many guys that are going to turn down a chance to play on the left side either if they all think they can do it. So I think he's fully capable of it. It's all the same traits. It's just a matter of now you're just switching the stance and you're kicking a different way. That's really the crux of it. It's how comfortable can you be switching your stance and moving in a different direction versus one that you've repped quite a bit over time. So it'll be a comfort thing for him more than anything else, and for us. But he presents all the traits that you want in a tackle, and right or left, he's got the traits to do either one, and that part of it I think is exciting. I think he feels the same way, which it's always good when a guy wants to prove they can do the thing that.
So that's Brian Callahan speaking with us a week ago from today, a little less than a week ago from today, because they drafted JC. No, they were just about making the pick right about now, as a matter of fact. So yeah, a week ago today, the Titans drafted JC Latham and then got in front of us and explained their thought process behind it. Screen Graphics on Facebook Live says, if this was the previous regime with that coaching staff, that would be a problem. Lucas posed the question to me on the radio show this week. If Jason Hotaling, Mike Vrabel's last offensive line coach here in Tennessee, or even Keith Carter, who plenty of people had questions about, if those two would have drafted JC Latham and tried to shrug it off about moving him from right to left, would you have had serious questions about it? Of course you would have, because they had not had a proven track record of development with offensive line talent. In fact, quite the opposite. A lot of the offensive line moves that administration made, whether it be Robinson, whether it be Mike, whether it be the offensive line coaches that they employed during their 6 years here, it didn't really work with a lot of players. They had more success with proven commodities like Lewan. They went out and signed Roger Saffold, and even Saffold took a little while in this system right out of the gate. It wasn't a seamless plug and play type of situation with Roger. And that's a former all-pro caliber guard and tackle at various points in his career with the Rams, whether he was in St. Louis or Los Angeles. Roger Saffold was a really good player, and it took him a minute here to kind of get right. And then by the time they figured it out in 2019 and Lewan was back from his PED suspension, they were cooking, and run left was the best play that the Titans had, all en route to the AFC Championship game, where ultimately they fell short against the Kansas City Chiefs. So yes, it's completely fair to look at and say, yeah, if it was the previous regime, I have issues, or I have a bigger issue, but it's not. It's Bill Callahan. It's one of the most respected and accomplished offensive line coaches in the history of the sport. And he's the person who's going to be tasked with fixing this thing. So like I said, it's not end of the world, I'm losing my mind, oh my God, what have the Titans done type of situation. But it is always going to be in the back of my head a question mark. Is this 100% going to be the solution at left tackle? Because right now, I don't know that to be so. Anyway, we've got the latest on Tyler Boyd. We'll tell you what's happening with the Titans wide receiver pursuit here in just a second. The question that I'm going to ask you, well, I don't have a question. I'm just going to tell you that we have more information about Tyler Boyd here in just a second, right after I remind you that Primetime is presented by the great people at Zen Sports. Download the app, plug in the promo code ATOZTN. Get up to $100 on your no danger first wager in the Zen Sports app and their awesome VIP program that Zen Sports offers will put you in position to succeed. Betting always gets better when you do it at Zen Sports, and that one-of-a-kind VIP program is great because if you qualify, you'll earn monthly comps at sporting events, concerts, you name it, even sportsbook bonuses. So download the app, plug in the promo code ATOZTN. Gambling problem, call 1-800-889-9789. Terms and conditions do apply. No danger wager, limited to plus 500 odds to qualify. Boosted odds are derived from equivalent parlay bets offered in Tennessee. Must be 21 plus and in Tennessee to bet at Zen Sports. So the latest on Tyler Boyd. He came in for a visit, and he has since left town without a contract. Now, this isn't the end of the world because DeAndre Hopkins, I know DeAndre Hopkins' situation was different, and that was later in the summer. And normally a free agent of Hopkins' caliber is not available at the time of year that he was available. But Tyler Boyd is going to have a variety of different teams. He already has multiple teams that are interested in his services, and he came to Nashville, met with the Titans, had a meeting. From everything that I heard, the meeting went smoothly, and he has since left without a contract. Now, fortunately, I've got a live podcast with the general manager of the Tennessee Titans tomorrow, and it's not going to be live streamed, but I'm sure there will be some news that results out of that because I'm going to ask him, hey, you guys had Tyler Boyd in for a visit. How'd it go? How do you see the slot competition playing out? And how much has changed by the presence of Jaquan Jackson on the roster? Because they were looking for Tyler Boyd to play the slot before they had their draft. And of course, Jaquan Jackson is probably going to, no pun intended, slot in as that kind of player. Bork says, please plug the donation link, please. Sir, yes, the donation link for LLS to be able to ask Rand Carthon and Greg Cosell a question. Bert will do that now as a matter. In fact, I can do that probably easier than Bert can because I already have the tab open here for you. But yes, if you're coming to the live show tomorrow, again, sold out crowd. It's been great. Been really cool to see you guys, to basically see you guys not sell your tickets with a Preds playoff game in the middle of it. This is going to be, in fact, more people are trying to find tickets to the live show, hoping that people were selling tickets because of the Preds Game 6 situation tomorrow night at Bridgestone Arena. Why is this giving me a hard time? The link for some reason went away. Where is it? Buck Rising, LLS. Okay, there it is. I'm going to drop it in the live stream chat for you. But yes, to be able to ask Rand Carthon and Greg Cosell a question, like I said, I'm not going to make you guys donate to Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, but I'm going to strongly suggest that you do, because if you do, that is going to make me put you to the front of the line based on donation amount. So that's going to be good. Vernon, who already did donate, says, how are you listing us? Who goes first? Well, by donation size is how I'm going to list it. So, some of you guys have been very generous. There was $50 donations today. I know Vernon made a donation as well. So I'm going to stack it based on who donates the most, and like I said, it also doesn't guarantee that we're going to get two questions, but if you would like to be prioritized for the amount of people that do want to ask Rand and Cosell questions, I am making a list, and the list is not very long right now. Not to put any pressure on you guys for generous donations, but we did get generous donations from Ethan Ramsey, from Vernon, from Matthew Fortner. We had a bunch of people donate today. I got another one just now from James Perkins, so we'll add James to the list. And if you want to get to the front of the line to ask Rand Carthon a question tomorrow, and it may even be about Tyler Boyd, you can donate in that link below. And I get as soon as you donate, I get an email on my phone. So that's how I'm keeping track of these things, and we'll make sure we get everybody organized for tomorrow. But should be a great time for a great cause. We're hoping to raise lots and lots of money at the install. Vernon says, second donation loading. Hey, listen, I'm trying to make it a competition, baby. It's for charity. So like I said, I'm not trying to bleed you guys dry, but I am trying to get as much money for cancer research as humanly possible. And I do appreciate you guys being willing to participate that way. So Tyler Boyd leaves. Meeting went well. Titans in strong consideration to land him. Does not guarantee that they will land him. And looking around at the wide receiver market at this point, you understand that there is going to be a couple of teams that are trying, as hard as the Titans are to bring him in. Now, Titans have a couple of things at their advantage. They have cap space. They have the fourth most effective cap space in football right now. They have his former offensive coordinator, whom he had great success with during his time there, and is now the head coach and the offensive play caller. So Tyler Boyd, it's not Joe Burrow and Will Levis, but perhaps they can have some success with Will Levis. That's the biggest question mark here. If I'm Tyler Boyd, what do you guys really think about the quarterback? How much am I going to be able to help this guy right away? And that's a big part of it too, because you may want to get younger players experience or reps or whatever, but not with a second-year quarterback. I want the most veteran skill set out there, the players who have seen the most football, the people who have been in the most reps, the players who have the most reps in an offense like this, like Tyler Boyd, who has played for this particular coach before. So I want to surround Will Levis with as many people that are comfortable and confident about what it is that they're being asked to do so that he can benefit and grow as a result if I'm trying to set this thing up for success, which is why they wanted him to come in here and play the slot prior to drafting a slot receiver. Doesn't mean that they won't still pursue him. Doesn't mean that they won't still offer him a good chunk of change, but they are going to be in competition with a couple of different teams. Chosen says Titans have the most cap. Maybe the most lies in terms of cap. No, they don't have the most cap. The Patriots have the most cap space. They have $43.1 million in effective cap space over $50.7 million in available cap space. Commanders, Jags, and then Titans. Titans have about half as much cap space as the Patriots do right now. And by the way, the Patriots desperately need a wide receiver because they tried to get Hopkins last year. You got him instead. They tried to get Ridley this year. You got him instead. So New England could come with a bag and scoop Tyler Boyd out from under you. And you'd probably feel okay with that because you got Hopkins and Ridley and the Patriots didn't. So weekend bounce back. Who needs to bounce back the most in sports this week? Let's talk about it together. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. Right after I remind you that the Primetime program is presented by the wonderful people at the Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage. Go to GaryAshton.com. Get your dream address without the stress. The intel edge you need to succeed can only be found with the official real estate agent of the Nashville Predators. That's GaryAshton.com. Who needs to bounce back most in sports this week? We've got playoff series happening. Preds bounced back nicely in Game 5. They're going to look to continue that momentum in Game 6, but they were able to get a win, so not necessarily in need of a bounce back, just in need of sustaining. John Pomfret says the Knicks got to stop Tyrese Maxey. Yes, the Knicks giving up a terrible result last night. 76ers trying to continue that forward momentum and do it with, try and find ways to do it without Joel Embiid on the floor because he's basically playing on one leg. And the splits, the plus minus with the 76ers with Joel Embiid and without Joel Embiid, even as he's playing on one leg, are crazy. The drop off is wild. Jeff Rubel says Prime. Yes, Coach Prime. Dude's having a horrible PR week going off on former players on Twitter. Yeah, that's not what you want. Listen, Deion going to Deion, and people have had problems with the way that Deion behaves his entire career, and it's not going to stop Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders doesn't give a damn. But it's just a really tough look when you're talking about kids. I know they're grown men technically at 18, but they're not really. I'm 30 years old. I don't think of myself as a grown man, right? I'm a man. I'm 40, as Mike Gundy says. So Mike Gundy, Jeff Gundy, which Gundy? Either way. No, that's Jeff Van Gundy. Either way. I think that there is a lot, just a lot to be desired about the way that Prime is on the internet. Now, I'm not saying it because famously I'm blocked on Twitter by Deion Sanders because of how much I made fun of him for calling Kevin Byard a fan a season after he was named an All-Pro. So anyway, let's keep it moving. We can bounce back. Who needs to bounce back most in sports? Bert pulled a clip from Inside the NBA. Basically, any show that's going up against Inside the NBA needs a bounce back, but the coverage has been excellent. And these guys working through the process of stunts with a live stunt person, is a stunt man? Is that just what we call them? There's not another technical term. Either way, made me laugh out loud. Everybody trying to compete with inside the NBA needs a bounce back.
Here we go.
Remember this, Shaq?
No, with the little bottle when you hit him like
years and years ago.
barely touched him in the chair.
I come a long way since Kazam. Boy, that's a bad. That'll get a Razzie right there.
So here I'm going to show with my assistant over here, Jeremiah. I'm going to show you how to set somebody up. So we're going to do that same punch that's going to set us up like this. So we have all this beautiful real estate. We can hit the chair here or the bottle there. Okay? Same gut punch. We've got the camera line there. Cameraman could go a little bit more there. We're going to throw that there. Boom! And he bends over here. Now we could hit him with the bottle, or we could actually hit him with the chair.
Damn!
That looked like it hurt. Yeah, that did look like it hurt.
That hurt?
You okay? Great. He's great. You want to give it a shot?
Come on, Chuck.
Hell no!
No, I want you to hit me with the chair. Oh, yeah, I got you.
I got the bottle.
You can do it.
I got you.
You can do it. All right, so let's see. You're gonna do 2 and 1.
Yeah, 2 and 1 is fine.
Okay.
You go ahead and do this, and then hit him with the chair. Then I'll finish him off with the bottle.
Okay, so just let it be known that bottle does pop and send debris everywhere. So let's just keep that in mind.
All right.
All right.
Come on, Chuck.
Send that stomach punch over here, and Shaq's gonna react and shoot the hips back a little bit. Ready? And action. Boom. Get that chair.
That's so slow.
That was too hard.
Here, sit down and take a load off.
Yeah.
No, that chair's gonna break, man. Take a load off.
What are you doing to my friend?
Uh-oh, hey! Thank you, Ernie.
He's got your back.
Oh. Can I try with the stuff, man?
You want to try one? You want to try one? We got a little bit more time here.
No, you're gonna break the chair.
You want to try it on one of my guys? You want to do the head pop? So we'll do the gut punch. Boom. He'll bend over, and then you can do the bottle pop.
Yeah. You ready?
Here we go. Ready?
I'm breaking the chair.
And action. Gut punch.
Get down there, boy. What the heck you talking about, Kenny? No, hit me with that shit. This ain't gonna hurt. No, it ain't gonna hurt. I promise it ain't gonna hurt. Don't hit me with that chair. All right, I don't trust you.
Brian Cranston, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ernie. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Remember, Fall Guy hitting theaters this Friday. That's a wrap for Inside the NBA presented by Kia.
My pleasure.
That was cool.
For Chuck and for Kenny and for Shaq, this is Ernie Johnson. We will see you again on Thursday night for another playoff doubleheader here on TNT.
Where's he?
It's all so great. I could watch those dudes do anything together. It's excellent content every time. Josh Sabato says the Panthers owner needs a bounce back after the draft day idiocy. Yeah, that was a tough look. Shaq gonna kill man if he used the chair, says Bork. Yeah, I mean, even with the stunt chair, like Shaq doing anything with any kind of force, you feel like it's gonna hurt. So one more time for people who are coming to the live show, because we're not gonna have another primetime show tomorrow. Obviously, no 615 sessions this week because I'm gonna be very, very busy tomorrow. So I appreciate you guys understanding. I can't wait to see you all at the Hutton Hotel tomorrow. I took a walkthrough yesterday. Greg flew into town this morning. Rand Carthon, I was talking to him last night about this. He's fired up. I'm fired up. I know you guys are going to have a great time. And if you want to ask the GM a question, again, I have dropped the link in there for you on the live stream chat. If you want to donate to get to the front of the line to ask the GM a question, you can do that. And we'll look forward to you guys being involved in the house for a great night, for a really great cause. Thank you all for spending your week with us on Primetime Radio Show. Tomorrow we'll have Coach Dave McGinnis. We'll have a game 6 rather to talk about. We're hoping the Preds win while we're doing the live show. I'm going to have Preds updates throughout the course of the show because I know a lot of you guys are going to be watching it on your phones while we're doing the podcast. That's cool. It's great. And then we're all going out together because I'm going to want to get drunk after this damn podcast is over. I'm exhausted. It's been a heavy lift. It's been, basically since last year planning this godforsaken thing. And I just want to get it done so that I can have a stiff tequila drink afterwards and hang out with all of my friends and all of you guys, because you're not just my friends, you're my family at this point. And I just can't wait to see you. It's going to be so much fun. Anyway, have a great rest of your night. Have a great weekend. See you tomorrow if you're coming. If not, Sunday night for the next primetime show here on the A to Z Sports Network. Which defensive player stands to benefit most from the coaching change? Poipol Neupol.